Hey, we all know that the real estate market is crashing right now. We hear it in the media every day. Interest rates are soaring, foreclosures are coming, and we all better run because the sky is falling. Stick around for a little bit today. We're going to talk about it and kind of give you what's happening here in the local Triad market. Hey everybody, I'm Joel with Berkshire Hathaway, and today I want to go through what's happening in our local market here in the Triad, and are we going to see a real estate crash? I personally don't believe that's going to happen because a lot of positive things we have happening right here in the Triad. There are lots of new jobs coming to the area. You've got the Toyota battery plant east of Greensboro, which is a multi-billion-dollar project. You've got Boom supersonic jets going in at the Greensboro airport, another big get for us. Down in Lexington, Nucor Steel has just announced a couple hundred jobs and a new factory coming. That's a $350 million investment. And also just recently, Winston announced that they're bringing more jobs to the area with fans and motors for commercial ventilation here in the area, which is also going to bring several hundred more jobs to the area. So all those things are going to be great for our local economy and should keep people coming to the area, buying houses, and our inventory is still pretty low. If you want to talk about a balanced market, we're about 6 months of buyers and sellers. Right now, we're sort of in that 2.5 months of inventory, so it's still a seller's market. It's just not to the insane level that we saw earlier this year where we had 2 weeks. So just remember, it's all about perspective. Other things is back in 2008, 2009, all the way to 11, we had a lot of bad loans out there where creditors were not really going and doing full pre-approvals and looking at people's finances before they got approved for a loan. They were giving a lot of bad loans out there and weren't verifying that people could actually pay for them. That has ended. Lenders are very strict in their lending guidelines now and making sure that you can pay for that home and you're not going to get yourself underwater on that. Speaking of being underwater, that's another reason I don't believe we're going to see a crash here, is because of the massive gains in equity we've seen the last couple years. According to Keeping Current Matters, right now, about 40% of people own their home free and clear nationally. That's huge. That means 40% of the people you know out there do not even have a mortgage on their house. And those who do have a mortgage on their house are usually sitting on a lot of equity, because over the last couple of years, we've seen 20% gains in home prices over the last few years, meaning that if you bought a home even a year ago, you're 10% more in equity. You know, if you bought a $300,000 house, you got $30,000 plus in equity right now, just because of what the market has done. We actually had a meeting with Dr. Lawrence Yun, the chief economist for the National Association of Realtors recently. And while I've never been the smartest person in the room, I will always listen to that. And he is one of those people. He analyzed our local market here, and he could see a leveling off of our prices. Should be pretty stable here. We're not going to see another 15+% gain like we've seen the last couple years, but we also shouldn't see a sharp decline. He's thinking that we could see anywhere from a 5% drop to a 5% appreciation, but he believes it should be fairly level. And that is not a crash in anybody's books that I can think of. Another reason why I don't think we're going to see a crash is buyer demand is still pretty high. Yes, we're seeing a softening of the market, whatever that means. You know, homes are staying on the market a little bit longer. We're not seeing 2 days anymore. It's more like a couple of weeks, but that's because rates are significantly higher than they were previously. Spoke with Dr. Yun about that a little bit as well. Generally, the difference between the Treasury and the interest rates being offered out there by lenders is a little bit closer than what it is right now. And that's because there is some uncertainty in the market. Congress hasn't officially declared us in a recession yet. Once that happens, we could see interest rates go back down, see that delta between the 10-year Treasury and interest rates get a little bit tighter. And if that happens, buyer interest is probably going to jump back up again. Just like in 2021, a lot of buyers said it was a terrible time to buy. But as soon as interest rates went down, purchases went through the roof and we saw a record year. So that could be in store for us again. Another reason why I don't think we're going to see a crash is that real estate is usually a good hedge against inflation. It's a good hard asset that tends to hedge your bets pretty well against what's going on in the market out there as a whole right now. Like I said, those are just a few reasons why I don't think we're seeing a crash here in the Triad. But like I've said, I've never been the smartest guy in the room, so I'd be curious what your thoughts are and what you have to say. Drop them in the comments below. If I can ever help you here in the local Triad area with your buying, selling, or just curious about what you may have in equity in your house, please be free to give me a call, 336-582-9210, or shoot me an email, joel@sandmanrealtync.com. I appreciate you watching another episode of Driving Triad. Have a great holiday season.